confirm that, would allow authorities, meaning the police or the National Guard, to forcibly quarantine citizens in the event of a health emergency, compel health providers to vaccinate citizens, authorize forceful entry into private dwellings, meaning your home or business, and destruction of your property, and impose fines on you if you do not comply. Now, you could go to jail for 30 days and be fined $1,000 a day if you do not allow yourself to get the injection. Here's what it says specifically from the bill. Require the owner or occupier of premises to permit entry into the investigation of the premises, to close, direct, and compel the evacuation of or to decontaminate or cause to be decontaminated building or house, to allow a reopening of the building or facility when the danger is ended, to restrict or prohibit assemblage of persons, to require a health care facility to provide services, to transfer the management and supervision of the health care facility. Let me see what else. So anyhow, they're going to go into your home and arrest you if you and put you in jail or prison and $1,000 a day. What the hell's going on with you idiots in Massachusetts? Where do you think we are? Is this Nazi Germany? My God, why aren't you people standing up in protests and raising hell with these bunch of demented individuals who pass this bill? This is fascism. This is totalitarianism. This is police state mentality. Why am I not surprised? Gee whiz, it's Massachusetts. Well, if you can't defend yourself, so be it. But here in New York, they try this crap. You'll see what kind of attitude we're going to give them when I get up there and what we're going to say to these state legislators. We will vote these bastards out of office, including the governor, if they do not honor the citizens' will. And we're talking about millions of people. My God. Where are the people who care about freedoms when legislators, the clowns that they are to begin with, listen to the vaccine industry? And do we have a lot of statements? I'm going to not tell you now what I'm going to be sharing with you, but let me give you one little sample. So the next time one of you people actually work in these legislatures, think you have a brain and know what you're doing, you lack scholarship, you are not into details, you do not study issues, you do not care about reason, logic, decency, or ethics. And we already know that about politicians in general. There may be some exceptions. So we understand how easy it is to be persuaded by special interest groups who are funding your now or giving you contracts later, why you're going to bend in their direction. Well, on the other side of that bending has been a very compliant and a very quiet and a completely indifferent populace that have allowed you to take away our country. Shame on you. Well, we're going to remind you we're still here, at least those of us who still care about anything in life instead of watching Oprah. Quote, internal emails confirm Glaxo-Avendia cover-up. Recent reports point to GlaxoSmithKline long being aware of Aventia's cardiac risks. In 2007, the Cleveland Clinic study conducted by prominent cardiologist Dr. Stephen Nyssen and published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that patients taking the diabetic drug experience a 43% higher risk of suffering a heart attack. Many called for Aventia's recall, but as Wall Street Journal reports today, Glaxo argued against the findings. Now some details of Glaxo's behind-the-scenes Aventia cover-ups are being made public. Glaxo's emails prove its own researchers were worried that its findings mirrored Nyson's studies. And now, that's just one company with one drug. They make vaccines. Now, if a company has a history, documented history, of being found guilty and settling fines for lying, for all kinds of things, you're going to trust them to make a vaccine without side effects and proven safety and efficacy? You're going to trust that company? You may. I'm not that naive. And I'm going to show you which companies that are making vaccines are serial offenders. One of our lawyers are working on this, been working on it for a month. I'll be presenting that to the legislatures. Every legislator in the United States will receive this report next week. Oh, by the way, should we be surprised when the candidates choose to accept the money from special industry? Well, let's just see here. When it comes to the lobbyist and the health professional to pharmaceutical products, you look at the amount of money they were giving different candidates, and it's a bunch of money. And then you look at the insurance industry, it's an enormous amount. And one of the biggest was the securities and Wall Street firms. Wonder why they gave all that money to Wall Street. Well, why don't you look at the Obama getting $20,177,547, Christopher Dodd $6 million, John Edwards $10 million, Huckabee a little bit, $317,000, Hillary Clinton $24 million. Follow the money trail. Follow the money trail, and we have with every state legislator. Yeah, they'll be surprised when we pull out the documents. So I'm suggesting that the pharmaceutical companies cannot be trusted. I will show you why. I will provide the evidence. And we should not have mandatory vaccines. We should have voluntary vaccines, because I've got the evidence that vaccines were not safe and not effective no matter what your expert has told you, because your expert has not done their homework, and we will prove they haven't done their homework. So we have one massive experiment out there, and that experiment should be stopped. Let's go over and say hello to Liza Redley. How are you today, Liza?
Very good, Gary. It's Lisa Redley from Briarcliff Manor, New York.
Tell us about your participation and helping with this and why you're concerned about it.
Okay, absolutely. I'm a holistic health practitioner. I'm a mother of 3 children, one who is vaccine injured. I'm also a member of the Coalition for Informed Choice. And we've been fighting this fight for a long time. And we went up and rallied a year ago in last June against the worst bill, making mandatory 28 more vaccines for our children. And the flu shot is what injured my child. And so this is certainly a cause of choice. And I believe that the nurses and the healthcare workers being made mandatory by Health Commissioner Daines is very important for our movement. We need to all come together for choice. And it is like a police state. I absolutely agree, Gary, when you said it's like Nazi Germany. And I'm sure people back then, knowing the things that were happening, couldn't possibly believe that the Holocaust was about to happen, that their own government and even people would deny that the government would take advantage of their people. And there's tremendous amount of outcry from everybody. In fact, when I asked the regular person on the street that has not had a vaccine-injured child or a healthcare worker, they would say, I'm absolutely not getting the swine flu vaccine. And I would say, why? And they say, well, because it's not been tested. It only was developed in the summer. So it's gone mainstream, and I think that's very important for the movement. We're calling on all healthcare workers, everybody, not just healthcare workers, to come Tuesday to Albany, East Capitol Steps, the 29th at 10 a.m. Gary, we're very excited to have you speak. I've heard you speak at the Trenton rally, and we're just so grateful to have you part of our movement. And we're looking forward to your meeting with Deputy Commissioner Saunders and seeing, having your statement, your statement heard. So thank you, Gary.
Well, I believe, see, the difference is I'm not suggesting that we are approaching a Holocaust. I'm suggesting that the type of politics that allowed the Holocaust to evolve, that allowed fascism in Italy to evolve, that allowed McCarthyism in the 1950s in America to evolve, is when we do not stop and ask basic questions, and we allow the people who have taken the position that they know best to dictate to us without us having an option. In a democracy, you have options. That's the underlying basis of a democracy: freedoms of choice, freedom to choose your religion, your political participation, the type of job you want, the school you want to go to. And when you are not given that choice, when healthy people who are health conscious and every day make healthy choices to make sure that they remain in as good a health as they can, are asked to put a very toxic medicine into their body, and that they will have no choice in it, they will be fined or taken to jail or lose their job or some